Well, hi there. We're going to talk today about lesson 60. Now, lesson 60 is like halfway through. Wow, didn't seem like we should be halfway through our year, but it is. It's halfway through. Lesson 60 covers fractional parts of a number, and percents of a number. To start with, I'm going to ask a question. What number is 0.6 of 31? Well, when we talk about things like this, we have certain words that should like ring a bell in our head. For instance, the word is. In math land, the word is means equals when it's used this way in a sentence. And the word of, when it's used in a sentence like this, usually means to multiply. So let's look at it again. What number equals 0.6 multiplied by 31? So we're going to use WN for what number? And we're going to rewrite this to look like this. What number is 0.6 of 31? So we would leave the what number by itself, have an equal sign here, and take 0.6 times 31. When we multiply that out, we end up with 18.6. That's the answer. That's the what number. 3/5 of what number is 60? Again, we have that little word of, which means to multiply. And we have this little word here, is, which means equal. And here's our missing number, so that's our WN. So let's look at it, rewritten as 3/5 times what number equals 60, or 3/5 of what number is 60. We would multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 3/5, which is 5/3, so we can get the what number by itself. And when we do that, we find out that the what number is 100. So 3/5 of 100 is 60. Okay, now here's another example that we can look at. 1/2 of 120 is what number? 1/2 of multiply 120 is equals what number? WN. Okay? So we rewrite it as 1/2 times 120 equals what number? Because we don't know the number. Well, the work is over here. We're just going to multiply 1/2 times 120 to get the answer, which is 60. Not too bad, not too hard. Okay, we can use these setups a whole lot when we are problem solving. And actually that's when the best part to use these. The only thing is we have to kind of pay attention of how they're set up so that we can get them set up correctly. 40% of a selling price of a jacket is profit. If the jacket sold for $75, how much did they make for profit? Now I know you're not going to want to write this down in your notes, but I want you to, because there are lots of story problems or word problems out there, and each one of them is set up a little different way, and these will help you to figure out which kind of problem this is. So we write it as 40% of that $75 price is what number? Because we want to know what the discount, or what the profit is. So we would change 40% to a decimal, which is 0.40. Remember, everybody, we go ba-dump to the left. 0.40 of times 20 times 75 equal is what number? That's what we want to know. That's how we would have to set it up, because we're looking for what the profit is. Now, you would continue this problem one of two ways. Now, I'm showing this to you because I think some of you may have already learned this. So, there's two ways to solve this problem. Okay? the first way. 0.40, which is your 40%, times 75 equals what number? You would multiply and get the answer. Or, here's the other way some of you may have learned it. 40 over 100, which this is, in essence, this is your percent. 40 over 100 equals x, which we don't know what x is, over 75. Then you would cross multiply and answer. Now, when you do it either way, you're still going to get the same answer. The 40 over 100, that represents your percent. The x represents your missing amount. Okay, that's the number you're looking for. And the $75 is the whole price. Okay? Either way, the answer is the same. You're going to get a $30 profit. Either way. Now, I have a few more problems here that I'm going to set up both ways for you so you can see, and you can decide which is the easiest way to do it for yourself. Oftentimes, the hardest part of a problem is knowing just how to set it up. What if you had a coupon for 25% off of anything in a store? You go to the store and you decide you want to buy the most expensive coat they have, and that coat costs $152. Now, the first question, what's your discount going to be? How do you figure that out? Well, you're thinking in your head 25% of $152, right? So you can set it up two ways. You can set it up like this. 25% of $152 equals what number? 0.25, because remember we have to move it 2 places to the left. 0.25 times 152 equals what number? $38 is your what number? That's your discount. Okay? Now, the other way you could set it up is over here. You could set it up like this. This is the other way to set it up. 25 over 100 equals x over 152. This is your percent. This is your missing amount, and this is your total. Notice that 100% and 152, they're both the total prices, the totals. They're on the bottom and the partials are on the top. Kind of interesting. Now, in this case, you cross multiply, just like you would before. 25 times 152 equals 100 times x. Multiply these, 3,800 equals 100x. Divide both sides by 100. And you get the same thing, $38. Now, my question is, how much are you going to pay for that gorgeous coat that you think you have to have? And that's pretty simple. The original price is $152, and you subtract that discount that you just figured out. The work is over here, okay? And you're going to get $114. And that's probably the simplest way to figure that out. Okay, now, what if you bought something online, which a lot of people do nowadays, and you found out that after you purchased it that you had to pay 7% of the cost of the item for shipping? How much are you actually going to pay for that when you get done? So here's the problem. You bought something online and you found out that you had to pay 7% of the cost for shipping. The item costs $14.62. How much will you pay for shipping? Okay, we're going to set it up just like we would before, both ways. Okay, 7% of $14.62 is what number? 0.07 times $14.62 equals what number? You do the math, you end up with 1.0234, which is not what you can do with dollars, right? So you have to round. This 2 is the number that would go up or down, and the 3 tells you whether it will, and it's less than 5. So your answer is $1.02. Over here, the other side of the story, 7% over here. 7 over 100 equals x over 1462. We're still looking for this missing amount. 7 times 1462 equals 100 times x. You do the math, you end up with 102.34. You're going to divide that by 100, and you still end up with the same answer, $1.02. The last thing, of course, you want to know is how much are they going to charge me total? Well, total You're going to pay $14.62 plus that $1.02 in shipping. Your total that you're going to have to charge, they're going to charge your credit card or your debit card, is $15.62. Now, lastly, I have one more thing that I want to talk about. This is your challenge problem for the day. Okay, this is worth 15 points if you are so brave as to try to conquer it. Okay, you have to show your work. You can't just get your answer from your neighbor. You have to show your work. Okay, one last example. Roger purchased an oversized futon mattress on sale. The original full retail price was $149. His discount was 20%. Now, what do I want to know? I want to know what was his discount in dollars. How much was the discount in dollars? And I need you to set it up. You can either set it up the way that I showed with 0.20, 20% of what is what, or you can put 20 over 100 equals. Either way, you have to show your work, whichever way you choose. And then once you've computed the discount, one more step. What is his cost, meaning what is he going to end up writing a check for after the discount, including taxes of 5%? So that means you're going to have to do another calculation. And remember, this percent is going to end up to be, you're either going to write it as 0.05 if you're doing it the way where you go something up something is, or you're going to write it as 5 over 100 equals. But remember, taxes are only charged on the actual cost after the discount. So you'll have to take the original cost, subtract the discount, then multiply it times your 5%. And remember to add that 5% on when you're done. Okay, folks, that is all I have for today. Thanks a bunch for listening, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.